I thought a couple of ground rules, we'll keep it for ourselves and discuss with the co-panelists on the discussion this afternoon. I would request each of you, first is an appeal to stay awake, and if we succeed in that, make some notes and send the questions over. And going by the previous panel's experience, I would also request you to make your name and organization and the question more legible, preferably in capitals if you can. Other way around, it will be difficult to navigate through that. In the interest of the content towards the end, what we thought is we will pull up all the questions and take few of them to ensure that the audience and the panel get a meaningful engagement of the time available. The questions coming, and that would make it pretty enlivening towards the end of the day. And I'm sure we will not come to these seminars or symposiums, workshops, and conclaves looking for what is going to be very highly prescriptive and clarifying on the formulas and stuff like that. So please make sure that the questions are around not asking for something ready-made formulas. I just thought I'll share with you, as I'm not necessarily qualified to be speaking on HR. I'm not from the line function of HR, but over the years have grown into a business leadership position. So I believe I've had a clear and reasonable working understanding about the HR. So I was just thinking about it when I've been invited and saying what should be it in my mind. So I said the engaged employees, the characteristics, how do you really look at them and identify them in a company? They must be enthusiastic. And again, I go back to this morning's discussion, is the behavior and belief, but I'm not getting that far right now. And productive, willing to invest with the discretionary effort. I think that's the most important, as I would say, and going beyond the call of duty and really caring about the future of the company. So, the most importantly, they do believe that they can make a significant difference to the organization that they work for and they're party to. If that were to be what engaged employees are, so I was trying to look at what would I tell myself in saying what would be broad guidelines about the engagement. If you were to notice, and I've chosen it to be a little controversial for one reason, in the whole list, there is nothing called compensation. I'm staying away from it, and I thought that's precisely left it to the balanced panelists to tell you that that's not and need not be the primary motivator. So we are saying maintain a connect throughout the life cycle of the employee, provide opportunities for enrichment, provide clarity on the strategic agenda, communicate the big picture, clarify most importantly what's a job and what's a role. And some of my esteemed colleagues in the HR back in the company, one of them here, Jay Krishna, would tell us that there is a significant difference between what's a job, what's a role. There is a huge expectation of a behavioral element on the job side, which is actually making it a bigger superset of role. Convey expectations, congratulate on accomplishments, at the same time clear any misgivings and apprehensions, provide continuous feedback, cultivate organization loyalty over and beyond and above personal loyalties, check for alignment, check aspirations mutually, and provide a credibility in terms of the leadership, and be very cognitive about the generational changes that we are currently dealing with. I'm sure my colleagues this afternoon would be dealing with parts of this, and ensure that there is a consistency at the end of it on the process management. Do not make people feel that it is ad hoc and not above board as much as possible. I do agree with the distinguished speakers this morning in the context that it is said as it depends, but I'm sure there is a gray area that it addresses, but the rest of it can be reasonably clear. And at the end of it, creatively nurture engagement in variety of ways. That will be again the topic for the afternoon, so I'm not really trying to elaborate. And genuinely care for the employees. As an employer, as an employer's rep, of being a senior or junior functional manager or a staff function in the company. Having said, I thought very quickly I would not come between the deliberations that are supposed to be more thought-provoking. I'm only an anchor and trying to ensure that there is a context that is set for the afternoon. So I said, let me just figure this out and take some creative degrees of freedom away from the panelists on behalf of the audience. So I said that let us tell and insist on them as to their solutions, even though if they're not prescriptive, will not be around these levels. Current context being economy and the recession, and if we were to think that this is a level of motivating employees, I'm sure our panelists will not be coming up with solutions like this. And the counter view from the younger generation in the company. For some of them, if it is not clear on the screen, the recession rocks, that's in the red letters. The black letter says, my boss got fired. I believe that every employee should be rewarded, and this is a way of motivating people. So you give them what is called do-it-yourself tool. There is a red button on that handle, and say that keep patting yourself whenever you reserve one. Doesn't work. Another way of motivating. Yeah, just to make sure that we don't fall